Buffalo and Utica. And it was the kind of place I always worked on. I worked for them 6 months, and then we came in one morning, there was a gate around the place. The government closed them up, failure of back taxes. So I was out of a job. So Jack is already with the government in Washington. And he comes down to New York. He's, Norman, you gotta work with the government. It's the greatest job. Come with me. I said, no. So what happened was, Jack would go every weekend to 16th Street Jewish Community Center. And they go dancing there. He liked to dance. And he met this girl, Rhoda Sugar. They became engaged. And so he told me, he wrote me a letter, or called me up, I forgot which, and said, I'm coming to New York in December with Rhoda and her mother, Aunt Sue. I don't know why they call her mother Aunt Sue. Mother was a widow, and her mother, to meet my family. We're engaged. And I want you to meet her girlfriend, Evelyn Badankin. And they've been very close friends since childhood. So I said, oh, I'm not crazy about it, but oh, she's very nice to him, believe me. So anyway, December the 7th, in 1947, I get a letter from Evelyn describing herself, telling me she's looking forward to meeting me, and giving me all descriptions. And I hear the descriptions, tall, beautiful, parts of Handler. I said, Jesus Christ, I'd be embarrassed. Even in a blind date, nobody looks this way, nobody looks that way. So I said, I'd be a dud. I better tell them to cancel it. And she's telling me she's 5'6", and with heels, and she likes dancing, and she likes people, and oh God. So Jack says, she's looking forward to meeting you. So I get this letter from her December 7th. She's looking forward to meeting you and having a good time. In 1947 Christmas, they were at the Taft Hotel. I go up there, and the door opens up, and first is Jack. She says, I want to meet Rhoda. I give Rhoda a big hug. My mother, Sarah, a distance away is Evelyn. I said, my God, what a beautiful girl. She's wearing a black, some kind of skirt, white pearls, hair combed in the middle, and like this. So I go over to shake her hand. Instead of shaking her hand, she grabs a hold of me and gives me a kiss. So I almost went to the floor. So that evening, Evelyn and I went downstairs to the coffee shop. We walked around, it was cold. And we got back up late, about 11. And Jack said, we're worried about you. Oh, so Jack says, we're leaving tomorrow morning for the Bronx. So you want to see us before we leave, see Evelyn? Evelyn says, you must come by and see us. Okay, what time are you leaving? We'll be leaving between 10:30 and 11. I'll be here 10 o'clock. So I get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they already finished their breakfast. They're going out to the Bronx. And Jack says, we're taking the Pelham Bay train up to Hillside Homes, where my mother lives. So I said, yes, no. So Evelyn, I said, I guess this goodbye. So then I said, wait a minute. And I walked to the door, I turned around, I said, Evelyn, would you like to take the Bronx to meet my parents? Oh, I'd love to. Let's go to the Bronx. That was the beginning. My mother and father took to her like a fish takes the water. And after that, you wouldn't believe it. The letters kept coming. I got 82 letters from her. Every one. Gotta get married. Gotta get married. I think about you all the time. One day, I came back from an afternoon shift, I think it was. Afternoon, I forgot which. My mother says, you got a visitor here. Oh, Evelyn. She's surprised. She stayed there. Come on, expect me. And she worked for a clothing company. She was a retail seller. She sold the most clothing. She sold coats. women's coats, fancy coats. We got married January 9th in mother's house, 729 Quincy Street. I moved to D.C. D.C. October of 1948. I moved.
Where'd you live?
I moved into a mother's house. Mother had a house at 729, a big house, upstairs, downstairs. In fact, she had relatives living upstairs. And they had a big double garage in the back.
Where'd you first work? Where'd you work?
I worked for Harrigan's.
What was Harrigan's?
Harrigan's restaurant. I was a bartender and a manager. Met some famous people there. The reason why we met famous people, because the owner of the restaurant was good friends with a guy named Lerner. And Lerner had a contract for all the limousine service from the airport. So all the limousine service was directed to Harrigan's restaurant. So who would come? Hollywood stars. One night, I was working night shift. He had a phone call. We don't take no reservations. It was nighttime. And I get a phone call from director Mervyn LeRoy. He says, my name's Mervyn LeRoy. We're making a movie, FBI story on the waterfront. And I wonder if we can get reservations for myself and James too. We want to be secluded. We don't want to be recognized. We don't want to be bothered. We want a table by ourselves. And we heard about the hard shell crabs. We'd like to eat the hard shell crabs and some beer. We don't want to be bothered. Would you arrange that for us? I said, that's a hard order because on a Friday night, this place is jammed. And not only that, I said that I'll squeeze you in someplace. I'll get you. He said, we'll be there about 10:30. Is that right? Yeah, 10:30 is fine. So anyway, they come in through the side door. It was Mervyn LeRoy, James Stewart, and I think there was the woman, I'm not sure. He's a tall guy. He had to duck down to get in the door. And then they got him a table in his back, and it was me. Then when it was over with, they came up to the bar. He says to me, do you own the bar? And I said, he says, boy, do you tell the owner, those hard shell crabs were good. And each one left her $50 tip. She got $150 out of it.
What did people do after your wedding?
Everybody was upstairs shooting crap. We went to New York, we stayed at the Roosevelt Hotel, and at 2 o'clock in the morning we went out to Hector's for breakfast. And stayed and we're walking around 42nd Street. I couldn't believe how lively 42nd Street is in Harrigan's. We had some colorful, but we had the Irish gang called the Warren Brothers from Georgetown. After I got married, we finally got an apartment on East West Highway, Morris Mills Apartments. We got apartments.
So, did they have air conditioning in that building?
No.
No. Did they have like a washing machine?
No.
No. How did you get your milk?
Oh, milk could be delivered. Milk nights could be delivered by Thompson Dairy. Phil O'Brien grew up there too, yeah. I take the bus all the way down to Southwest Washington.
Do you remember getting a car?
Yeah, we got that in 1952.
Okay.
The Chevrolet.
What do you think about your marriage?
God bless her. I had her for 60 years. It was great. God took her away too soon. She's been gone 6 years. She was a very brilliant woman. When she walked into a room, everybody, she lit up the room. She retired from Geico after. She worked with Geico 10 years part-time because the boys were in school. And 16 years she was full-time. And the last 7 years, she worked in subrogation, which was a very highly sensitive job. She went to court twice a month in Virginia for Geico. Subrogation.
Well, Phil told me that you worked 6 days a week.
In a liquor store, yeah.
And that on Sundays you had a ritual that you would take the kids into DC. Do you remember that sightseeing?
Yeah, we'd go to the hot dog. We'd go to the museums and also the hot dog stands. When you get a hot dog off the stands, they were good. yeah.
Our car, we drive in our car, remember?
Yeah.
Downtown every Sunday.
Yeah, every Sunday.
So Phil said to me in, I guess it was 3rd grade or 4th grade, that they were studying Washington DC, and he knew more than almost everyone because you had taken him on all these excursions, and he
Yeah.
felt very.
White House, the Supreme Court building, all the
Yeah,
museums.
we went to Smithsonian Institute. We went around a lot.
Now, did you or your wife go to college?
My wife had 1 year of George Washington University. They ran out of money or something. And then I just, 4 years of high school.
Remember Kramer's Pool? Kramer's
Oh
Pool?
yeah, Kramer's Pool out Georgia Avenue.
Well, tell us
It's $1
about
for a carload.
it.
There was a pool, like Georgia Avenue Extended, called Kramer's Pool. $1 for each car, no matter how many people were in there. They had a pool on the farm. Unbelievable. Jerry Wallman would take us out there.
Now, Jerry Woolman lived in the apartments, didn't he?
Yeah, lived there. He lived right above me with Ann.
And what did he do for a living? What did Jerry do for a
He
living?
worked for Colonial Paper and Wallpaper Company. Mr. Ackerhold was the owner. He worked for them.
What did he do?
He, I guess he sold paint. He was a contractor. I know one time I tried to paint the kitchen. He walked in. He said, "Stop it! I'll show you how to paint it." He painted the whole kitchen for me.
And Herbie Halpern lived in the apartments for a while?
Yeah, Herbert Halpern lived across the way with Ruby.
And how did Herbie start out? He was a truck driver?
He was a truck driver for Breakstone Cheese.
Okay.
Herbie worked the hard way. He earned it the hard way.
Sure.
Yeah, well, I went from the restaurant to the liquor store because the liquor store was more money. Yeah, I was managing a liquor store.
Which liquor store did you work at first?
First I worked for Allen Jewelers liquor store was, oh God. Jack's liquor store was Market Liquors.
When did
Allen's
you-
was on 11th Street and E. And
And
next door to, the funny thing, next to him was another bookmaker. He uses the front baskets, Sam Beard, one of the biggest bookmakers in Washington. He'd sit out there, not doing anything. Maybe collecting numbers, I don't know. No, he had baskets. His front was selling baskets. All
But it
kinds
was
of
a
empty
front
baskets.
for gambling?
For gambling, right. I went up to Blair Liquors, that was a money-making place. Yeah, and then I got held up 13 times. Almost killed once. I was almost killed twice in the liquor store. 13. The first time, the store was open about 2-3 months, doing real good. And what happened, 2 guys walk in with ski masks. And they must have knew we had a safe in the back. So he tells the other guy, go take him to the safe. So I go to the safe, and I can't remember the numbers. It's impossible. And the guy's got I was wearing a tie with a jacket. And so what he did was, he put the gun to the back of my head. I was kneeling down in the safe and took the tie and twisted it in my neck. I said, I can't think, it's choking me, it's choking me. Open the safe and said, so I couldn't remember the numbers. Couldn't remember it. So the guy out front, hurry up before somebody gets here. He says, he doesn't remember the numbers. He says, knock him out and come out. So he hits me on the head, put a couple stitches in my head, knocked me out. A few months later, we had the kids from Roosevelt High School come in. And boy, they'll clip everything you got in the store. You gotta keep your eye on them. So we just let them in one at a time. So finally this kid comes in, about 14, 15 years old. He's got a briefcase. And he says to me, I'm at the counter there, he says, I want a Rock Creek orange, how much? I said 15 cents for a Rock Creek orange. I put it on the table. He's got the briefcase. He says, I got something for you. I said, what? He opens up the briefcase, he got a sure-arm shotgun. Bang, right across. Hit my nose stuff. Glasses came off. I got on the floor. It was a holdup. Then 2 more punks come in. And the police come. Then the police come, and the kids ran up an alley. And the cops say, where'd they go? We went up the alley. What'd they have? They had shotguns. The cop says, I'm not chasing anybody with shotguns until they get in the car. So they got away. We needed a clerk. We lost one of our clerks. We were hiring clerks. So I was one day in CVS, I see this Spanish guy there, very good looking guy. So I talked to him, I said, you want a job? I told him pay is out there, good. And so he came to work for me. His name was Juan Rodriguez. He lived in Rosemary Hills with his brother-in-law and sister. His brother-in-law was the Spanish air attaché. And so they lived in the, so Juan was a very good clerk. The women just loved this guy. He made more sales. He was like a moneymaker. But what happened was, all of a sudden, the women wanted him to deliver the whiskey to the house. They wouldn't buy nothing unless he delivered the house. So he started delivering the whiskey in the house. He's coming back a half hour, 45 minutes late. I said, Juan, what is going on? He said,
I wonder.
He said, Mr. Norman, I'm going to tell you something. In Europe, they kill the lover. In America, they kill the wife. I have nothing to worry about. I swear to God. In Europe, they kill the lover. In America, they kill the wife.
When did you leave?
I have nothing to worry about.
Do you remember moving to Forest Park Apartments?
Yeah, Forest Park, that was nice. That was all right. We moved to Germantown. And then from Germantown, we moved to the Potomac.
Your job after Blair Liquors, what was the next
Blair
job?
Liquors. I went to work for Herbie.
Uh-huh. And what did you do for
Yeah.
Herbie? When was that? Do you remember when that
I
was?
went to work for the food distribution. That was a good job.
Why
5
did you,
days a week
why did you switch jobs?
because I was held up too many times. So I got a job with Herb Halpern, and that was a good job. 5 days a week and unlimited. I was like in management. First I checked in trailers. I started there, checking food trailers. That was a job. I worked myself up to quality control, customer service, assistant food buyer, and food buyer. I worked myself up to the top. Then they sold the place. And that was a sad day. We knew something was going to happen. We see all these guys coming in, taking measurements. And Herbie said, nothing's happening. It's an insurance company. About a month or two later, the company was sold. It was sold to the Irish Dairy Board of Ireland.
Now, what did Brian end up doing for his career?
Then from there, he specialized in Russian studies. And then he got jobs with corporations in New York with very top pay. Only it was a catch to it. When you worked with a corporation, long hours, good money. But on a Sunday, you're supposed to rest. But going out to the limousine with you, take it to California, take it to Texas. Never went anywhere. Phil went to the University of Maryland, then went to the University of Toledo. Phil worked in the courts in Toledo. He helped out in the courts.
So both of your sons are lawyers?
Yeah, I got 5 lawyers in the family. My granddaughter's a lawyer.
Oh, right, Jackie. Were you proud of your boys?
Yeah, very proud of her. Evelyn especially. Evelyn used to hound me. You gotta get them through college. You gotta get them through law school. All the time she was worried that they wouldn't. She always stressed the education. They gotta get it. Because that's the way. Her thought was you gotta get the education.